in a room, and she was just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And they go in there and they do whatever they do. And I never saw her come out the room. I never saw them wheel her out the room. I don't. She had her own separate room away from the other regular rooms, and she would scream, 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 and then go in there. This would go on every day, and you start to get chills from this because at the time I didn't really understand anything spiritual and anything demonic like that. And you may not believe in demons and spirits and things, but let me tell you, looking back on that, I know she was possessed with something because it was tormenting. It was tormenting her. She was screaming, 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 screaming. So not only that, there's other people in there. There's people with schizophrenia, bipolar, and trying to I'm interacting with them, different personalities and things, and I'm just like, man, what do I do? Where do I go from here? And I remember one of the workers talking to me, and they going black guy. He would talk to everybody. I remember talking to me. He's like, man, you're not supposed to be in here. Okay, now remember I'm in the psych ward. I'm thinking I'm going to end it all, and I'm dealing with the depression and thing. He doesn't know me. With a can of paint, he says, "You're not supposed to be in here." And so I remember, just I think I was in there maybe a week. It felt like a week, and we would have these conversations with the folks that were in charge of when you can be released. And I remember they saying to me, you always go back in your room and you interact. And I was like, wait, well, no, wait, this pain medicine. I remember the pain medicine, those pills. I don't know, I can't remember if it was Percocet or whatever. The pain medicine, it's huge, and it was too much. It was knocking me out. And I was like, no, wait, I need to get the reduction of the medicine or something. I was like, I'm fine. I'm not regressing and retreating. I'm just tired because like the medicine was just too strong. And so I remember they reduced that, and I was like, okay, that's great. I can go with that. And they would say, we'll we can evaluate how and when you can leave. So they would ask questions and how your state was, and that's when they brought up with me, how you were treating. I was like, no, I'm fine. And they want to see that you're interacting. They wanted to see that you were moving towards leave. Now I don't know what that criteria exactly was, and it's hard to remember, but you know things like this really can shake you. Things like this can really put you in a different state of mind when you realize that you could be in here for a long time, right? If they deemed it wasn't ready, you deemed it wasn't your time, you could be in there, and man, I'm just gonna do the best I can. I was still kind of dealing with the depression, and now I have this ankle, and I'm like, man, what have I done to myself? So now I've attempted this, I've injured myself, and I need help, right? I'm on the crutches, right? I'm in a real cast. Like, I can't put pressure on the ankle. Any small touch, it hurts, and I have a steel rod. So now it's like, man, okay, what can I do? How can I change my course? How can I really, really dig deep in this, right? So I had to do an evaluation of myself. And this is the thing where I want to encourage you on, if you're thinking about suicide or if you attempted it and it didn't fail, you got to do good for you. Saw a post. You got to do good for you. And what I took from that is if no one else, you feel no one else would do good for you, and no one else feels good for you, you got to do good for you. And that's where it really starts. You know, self esteem starts with the self. Now, you may have had people along the way that have broken it or talked down on you, said you'd be like your daddy, like your mama, you won't do nothing, you won't be nothing. But what is good for you, right? And so that whole beat down thing is a trick from the enemy to get your mind. It's a mental thing, right? So if you can have control over your mind and not be so easily persuaded or coerced by things. Now, I know it's tough when it's coming from people you cared about, people you love, people you thought were in your best interest, but you gotta do good for you. And so when that worker in there said I didn't belong there, is what I felt he was saying was you got a displacement going on of what you think's going on. Your mind is not where any of these other people are. And I remember playing card games with some of these people and things like that. And oh hey, this isn't where you belong. And so that depression, that dark place isn't where you belong. It isn't where you belong. And I feel like you can really, 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 really push past that, right? But it takes some work, it takes some time, it takes some digging deep. You gotta just know that you know that you know. Know that you know that you know. And if you don't know, we're gonna walk down this together. We're gonna walk through this together. We're going to make it together. Okay. I don't wanna ever feel like that again. I don't ever want to go to that dark place again. I don't even want to get close to that place again. And listen, if you feel like you're going in that place or close to that place, reach out, inbox me. Okay. This is a journey that I decided to go on, and I want you to go on it with me. This is a process. This is episode 2, the Psych War. I have no goals of how many episodes. I have not set any scripts, any plans, any measures. I'm just going to go as God leads me. I'm going to walk in this purpose, walk in this truth.